Hello! Are you a little crafty and a little witchy? If this sounds like you, you're going to want to stay tuned for this DIY divination project. Jessie Katz Greenberg here. I'm a crafter with a background in design and I love teaching you how to make things. Today we are making divination charms or casting charms. So what is divination? Divination is any practice where you are trying to see into the future or seek guidance into a specific situation. I specifically like to use divination to seek guidance about things I should be working on or things I should be aware of. Tools like tarot, astrology, pendulums are all things that you would use for divination. Now that we have a clear idea of what divination is, let me know, have you ever tried any type of divination? Today specifically, we are talking charm casting. So this is something that I've seen trending a lot on social media, using metal charms or trinkets as a tool for divination. Very similar to tarot cards, you would toss your charms onto a surface, or maybe you reach in and select a few charms, and then you determine what those images or icons mean. Today, instead of using metal charms, we are going to DIY our own using wood tiles, a bit of decoupage, and I even go entirely off the rails and pull out my wood burner.
Let's talk supplies. You'll need scrap paper, wood shapes, I used squares, collage materials, I used magazines, vintage encyclopedia pages, napkins, and marbled paper, scissors, a pen and or a pencil, a small paintbrush, decoupage glue. I used fast finish decoupage from Beacon. I also used Beacon's gloss sealer, fine grit sandpaper, and an empty bag or jar to store your tiles. If you're cutting any of the wood squares smaller, you'll need a cutting mat, a ruler preferably with a cork back, and an X-Acto knife. A wood burner is really fun for this project as well, but totally optional, and you'll need some tape. Not pictured is a small plastic cup and a toothpick. My squares came with 3 sizes, and I didn't love the larger size for this project, so I'm cutting them into 4s. Lining the square up so that the center aligns with one of the grid lines on my cutting mat, I use a ruler and a sharp X-Acto knife to slowly cut the square in half. This first cut is made in the same direction as the wood grain, which is easier to cut. This is sped up, but in real life I was cutting very gently and slowly. Remember to never have your fingers in front of your X-Acto blade while cutting, and always keep your eyes on your project. Now line up 1/2 so again the center is aligned with a grid line on your cutting mat. Cut gently and slowly until you are almost through the square. By the way, I'm using a cork-backed ruler because it's less likely to slip. This time you're cutting against the grain, so it's a little more difficult. When you're almost all the way through, slowly bend back the wood, then cut a couple of times on that folded line on the back, and bend in the opposite direction. Do this slowly to avoid splitting the wood. Then sand your edges. Pour a little decoupage medium into a small plastic cup and set aside. With scrap paper protecting your work surface, select an image from your collage materials and trace one of your squares onto it. Cut this out, cutting slightly inside your traced lines because you want the image to be slightly smaller than your square. You should almost see a little bit of the wood around your image. Double check the size and go ahead and trim if needed. You can see I had to trim a little smaller here. With a small paintbrush, apply your decoupage medium to the wood square. I used a generous amount because this wood seemed to absorb the glue a bit. Then add your image. Press firmly to get rid of any bumps or creases, and finish by applying more decoupage medium on top, making sure to get those edges. I also lightly brushed across the whole surface again to try and minimize brush strokes. Set aside on scrap paper to dry. Now the fun part, repeat this with as many images as you'd like. I loved the teeny tiny tomato and that owl. The New Yorker had some great black and white illustrations perfect for this project. Imagery of plants, flowers, vegetables, animals, and insects are all really great for this project. You can even use any image that carries a very specific meaning to you. You'll see later in the video that I used a sleep mask image to represent self-care. I have a man reading a book, which could represent knowledge, continued education, or curiosity. For example, if blueberries are your favorite afternoon snack and they kind of re-energize you, then maybe you include those. Your images can be truly that specific. This project is for you and you alone, and it's great to have a personal connection to the images that you select. Don't forget to include tiles that are just colors, because colors have meaning too. You could totally use paint or markers for this, but I love the texture and gradients in these found images. Spread your charms out on some scrap papers so they are not touching each other, and add some gloss sealer to a small cup. With your paintbrush, apply sealer to each tile. I used a toothpick here to hold each tile steady as I sealed them. Gosh, wouldn't it be nice if you could paint this fast? Or maybe it would be absolutely terrible, I don't know. I didn't catch it on camera, but after I sealed all of the tiles, I went back and nudged each one carefully with my toothpick to prevent them from drying to the paper. If they were already stuck, I left them to fully dry. Then you can sand them for just about 30 seconds using fine grit sandpaper to remove any glue and paper that is dried and stuck to the back. You may want to include some images that you couldn't find in your collage materials. For this, I used my Versatool wood burner with the mini flow point, and I taped the stand to the table so my wood burner was safe and stable.
Popping in with a wood burning tip. This was my first time using my new Versatool from Walnut Hollow, so still getting to know her. And I think I should have had the temp turned down a little bit for this type of wood so it didn't burn so dark and so fast. But you live and you learn. Let's get back to it.
This was perfect for making charms with images that I couldn't find in magazines, like zodiac signs, element symbols, and just some plants and animals that I wanted to be sure to include. I drew the images first with pencil, then used slow, steady, light pressure to burn each design. You could totally add these images with paint, colored pencils, markers, or pen, any of your favorite mark making supplies. The wood burner is really fun, but totally optional. I did link the one that I'm using in the comments, so you can go check that out. I especially loved playing with pressure to burn this lavender, using heavier pressure for the dark lavender flowers and lighter pressure for the leaves and stems. Let's take a closer look so you can see what I mean. Once your designs are burned, you can go back and erase any visible pencil lines. And here are a few of my favorite wood burn tiles. Once your tiles are fully dried and cool and cured, you can add them to your empty jar, drawstring pouch, or even just a Ziploc bag to keep them all together.
All right, you've made your super amazing, 100% unique set of charm casting tiles, but how the heck do you even use them? Here's a look at a test pull that I did right after making them.
You don't need a special mat, but I have this tarot cloth that I rarely use, so thought I'd whip it out. Shake up your charms, this kind of infuses them with your energy, and select a few. I selected 3 and read them similar to oracle cards. You may also choose to toss a handful of charms onto your mat and interpret how and where they land. I selected the cardinal, the fire sign, and the sleep mask. Documenting in my notebook, I started to determine what these could mean. The sleep mask is definitely giving self-care and relaxation. That's sort of what I thought when I was cutting and decoupaging that image. For the cardinal and the fire sign, I decided to reference Llewellyn's complete book of correspondences, linked in the video description. Looking at the intentions of cardinal imagery, I was drawn to balance, self-work, and nurture. This got me rethinking self-care, and instead of going in the relaxing direction, I thought more about self-care as in being kind to your future self, doing things your future self will thank you for. I'm thinking this points to not procrastinating and to setting myself up for success. This was confirmed when I read intentions associated with fire, like activate and awaken. Fire is very action-oriented, very fast, very quick. So I'm leaning towards that set my future self up for success idea. I would then go ahead and journal further on this page to dig into how I'm feeling and how I might use this information going forward. Here's an image of all of the tiles I created. Pause to take a closer look and let me know if you have questions about the imagery or how I might interpret it.
One of the coolest things about this project is that you could just keep adding to it. Have some buttons from your grandma, throw them in. When you pull them, maybe they signify attributes that you admire about her. You could add metal charms, or just keep making tiles when you come across good imagery. Definitely let me know in the comments if you tried or plan to try this project. I love hearing about what you create. And if you share to Instagram, be sure to tag me at Jessie Katz Greenberg so I can see and reshare what you made. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and comment, and then head over and subscribe to my channel for more craft tutorials like the mini witches brooms that I'll link here. Thanks for watching.